name's Dayne Weston. I left high school, grew up in the country in Goulburn, and aspired to play rugby league one day in the NRL, and was quite fortunate to do that for 12 years or so. And I did that up until 2015. I took my family, I got two boys, Jet and Blaze, who were 6 and 9, and I was then married at the time. We went over there to the UK, and about 6 months in, I started dealing with my mental issues I'd had for a long time. I'd suffered from depression and anxiety for the majority of my life. My masking agent for that was rugby league, and I couldn't understand why at the hardest part of my time in my lives I was at the top of my game professionally. From the outside looking in, I was doing something I loved. I had two beautiful kids and I was married, and a perfect life from the outside, but within I was broken. Got to a point where I thought about taking my life every day. It got that serious that I knew how it was going to happen. Time went on, and things were deteriorating with me, my relationship with my wife, and all of a sudden she made a decision to up and leave. I was left in the UK. My wife had left, taking my two kids away from me for months on end, and I just recently signed a 3-year deal with a club I was at to earn a lot of money, and it was going to set up my family for the rest of our lives. And within a matter of weeks, I had to retire. Suicide was on my mind every day, especially after the drugs and alcohol. It just expanded them thoughts bigger and bigger, as you could imagine. And then comes to a day that obviously I'd been thinking about for such a long time, and the hardest thing I had to do was write a letter to my two boys to actually explain to them why their dad was leaving. That life's too hard for me, and why Dad couldn't be here was something that I had to deal with for a long time, and I changed that letter so much. And anyway, I'd sent that to their mum, and again attempted to take my own life that night. Lucky enough, I survived, and Boxing Day last year I just decided to stop pointing the finger at everyone else, own up to my own misfortunes, and do something about it. And 4 weeks later I meet my now partner, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. First went to Elevation Church with my partner Lydia. She had been going for years now, and it was something that meant the world to her, and straight away I was like, well, that means so much to you that I obviously naturally would come along. And just after weeks of coming and months on end, I started to meet people at the church. Obviously got introduced to Pastor Locke, and I got to a stage where I said to Locke that I want to give my life to God, and that's when I made that decision. And that was the moment where I knew that God has a purpose for me, and God loves me, and this is what He wants. From that day on, was wanted to follow my life through God and live life His way and the way He wants for me and our family. Jesus was baptised, and now that I'm a follower of Christ, I want to be baptised as well, and have Him at the forefront of my mind in everything I do. A lot of people around me just seen the change in me. They've been through the hard times that I've been through, and to see me so happy now when a few years ago I didn't want to be here anymore. It's crazy how in such a short period of time I can be impacted so greatly.